Don't forget to do three things: subscribe, like, and share.
What's going on, everybody? 2023 in effect, on the block with Nick. We about to get hot. Before we get hot on the block, I want to send a special shout out to my guest, the Ricko Gaither 77 Talk. Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
What's up? Happy New Year, man. What's been good? What's happening?
Not much, man. Not much.
Yes, sir.
Hey, took a little break, but I'm back on the grind now. But you know, speaking of 2022, first off, you know, we got to give a moment of silence. We had a couple of people who passed who we personally knew. You know, a moment of silence for them. And also, man, before we do the moment of silence, I just want to say, especially to my viewers, be thankful for what you have and understand that each day is a blessing. All right, each day you live is a blessing, and be thankful that you made it to 2023. All right, so we're gonna give a moment of silence, right, for the people who didn't make it, and for your loved ones, the viewers, for you guys as well. This is for you. All right, let's get into it. Yes,
sir.
So let's do a recap. All right.
Okay.
We're going to do a recap. And to my viewers, I'm going to tell you it's one topic that we're going to discuss that me and my bro, we just disagree on, right? So you're going to see us, you're going to see us talk about it. And we each have valid points. And you know, it's just a different point of view. All right. But the first topic we're going to start off with is Kanye, because I know Kanye is near and dear to your heart. Okay. Right. So Kanye had a incredible year, right, in the news.
Stupid year, but go ahead.
he had an incredible year to use, right? Like, I just want to hear, what are your thoughts on Kanye?
Man, the whole thing about Kanye West, man, is just, you know, incredibly disappointed, not even surprised, not even shocked, just incredibly disappointed. And more so, I want to say thank you to Kanye West, right? Because I want to say thank you to Kanye West for telling me, as a used to be fan of Kanye West, who he really is, right? This is not a Kanye need to be on his meds type situation, or Kanye this and that. No. Kanye West is telling us exactly the type of person that he is. And that's fine. We are all entitled to have our views, whether if they be wrong, whether if they be right. That's what makes everybody as individuals different, because, you know, all of our opinions are different because everybody don't think the same. But I'm just going to say this. I am thankful to Kanye West for letting me know the type of person that he truly is. Kanye was saying that slavery was a choice. I don't really think that anybody wants to be enslaved as out of everything in life that you can choose to do. I don't think slavery is number one on anybody's list, right? So I'm thankful to Kanye for just saying who he chose, letting us know who he really is. Because musically, he may be a genius musically, right? He an outstanding artist. But as far as like his political views and the stuff that Kanye is saying, Kanye is a complete idiot. That's what it boils down to. And he doesn't care anything he doesn't care about anything or anyone but himself. So, hey, thank you, Kanye. Do I fucks with you anymore? I do not. And it just hasn't been recent. I haven't fucked with Kanye since he said the whole slavery was a choice situation. So, hey, man, good luck with everything in life that you do.
So let me ask you this: do you think any of his points are valid? Right? Do you think anything that he says is valid?
Some things that he may say may be valid, but I'm gonna tell you some of the things definitely that he says that I know that are incorrect. Like when he referenced that George Floyd died because of fentanyl. It's like, dude, are you an idiot? Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody in the world saw the reason why George Floyd died. He didn't die of a fentanyl overdose. He died because he had a man that put his knee on his neck for damn near 9 minutes. So, you know what I'm saying? Like you can be high on whatever it is in life that you want to be on. But I dare anybody, let's see which one is going to kill you first. Lay down there and let somebody put their knee on your neck, which is going to cut off your circulation to your brain, right? Just lay down there for almost 9 minutes and let's see if you make it. If somebody is just kneeling down with their hands in their pockets, looking around like everything is all good, right? So he was definitely dead ass wrong for that, man. And, you know, now some of the things that I'm going to say, and then the other thing too, that I do not agree with. Now, maybe he was trying to use it as a, you know, maybe he was trying to use it as an example, but to say that like when Adidas did what they did to him, he now understands what it's like to have a knee on his neck, not necessarily, because yeah, you're losing money per se, but you're not losing your life. That's a totally different thing. This man lost his life. You don't use George Floyd as your example to say, now I understand what it's like to have a knee on my neck. That wasn't a good one to use. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just, you know, maybe, you know what I'm saying? And I understand it, you know, what he's saying, how Adidas is doing him. But again, like some of our other athletes that have said things, my thing is this. If you gonna come out and say that talk, if you gonna talk that talk, if you gonna
I know you're talking about Kyrie, so go ahead and say Kyrie.
But no, it's not just for Kyrie, it's for anybody.
If you're talking about anybody in general.
Yeah, if you gonna come out and talk that talk and say it with your chest, you better be prepared for what's coming. You better be prepared, right? So if you're gonna come out and say whatever it is that you want to say, be prepared for the backlash that you're going to get. Don't try to walk it back after the fact. Don't come back with some bullshit, shallow-ass apology to do it to check in the block. Because clearly, you meant what you said because you said it the first time. And you said it again so we could hear you in the back row, right? So don't try to walk it back and say, well, it was not my intentions to hurt somebody. Hey, you said it, so you roll with what's going to go with it. Like our parents used to tell us all the time, hey, you made your bed, so now go lay in it.
Okay, so going back to Kanye.
Yeah.
You don't think any of this or any of his behavior has to do with him being mentally ill?
So I'm going to say no. I'm really going to say no. Because see, when we talk about somebody having mental illness, right? Yeah, mental illness can come in a whole bunch of different forms. And addiction is part of a mental illness, right? Because whatever it is that you're addicted to, you know what I'm saying? Like I suffer from a mental illness. I'm addicted to Milo sweet tea. Bro, I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I want it, my mind is telling me go get it, right? So you can say that's one of my mental illnesses, right? But what I'm saying is, man, where's that same mental illness for Kanye when it comes down to him getting in the studio? It's people say it's a mental illness, and people want to go back to say, well, he ain't been the same since his mother passed away. Again, I'm not going to give you no pass because your mama passed away, because we have all lost somebody that we love, right? Kanye ain't the first person that done lost a loved one, and he's not going to be the last. But this whole thing about he's got a mental illness, when he comes out and he speaks out and he just blurts out these ridiculous facts these ridiculous statements that aren't factual, right? But we don't use that same thing for when he's going around having Sunday service. Right? When he's showing up at the BET Awards in a basically a bear suit and a ski mask in Los Angeles and rain boots and a bubble jacket, right? In LA indoors, and it's 85 degrees outside. See, we don't say nothing about mental illness. We don't talk about that. We praise him for being such a genius. So no, man, I don't think Kanye West have no mental illness. Kanye West is just telling us the type of person that he is.
Well, I know you and I have had, plenty of discussions about this,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And mental illness do come in different forms, and we seen it with the guy who recently passed, Twitch, right?
Which was tragic, by the way.
Really tragic. A tragedy,
yeah,
right?
For sure,
tragedy.
For sure. Yeah.
He lived his life.
Mm-hmm.
No one, suspected anything being wrong with the man.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You even look back at Robin Williams, So mental illness has to be looked at differently right now.
Okay.
Because what we thought it was, it's not necessarily, what it is today. Or, people don't understand it as well as they thought they did. And when at least in my opinion, when I see Kanye West and I hear what he's saying and I see the things that he's doing, it just reminds me of a person who's lost and is looking and seeking for help, but doesn't, really know how to find it. He's openly said that he's bipolar. And when he's not on his meds, he says crazy things. So if that's, coming straight from the horse's mouth, I got to believe that, he has a mental illness. But do I believe some of the things that he's saying are associated with the mental illness? No, I don't believe that. Okay. But I do believe that he is mentally ill, and probably the majority of it is due to that. Like, if me and you, right, you Kanye, well, I ain't gonna say you, Kanye, ain't gonna put that on you. You balling, a mega rap star or whatever, and I'm in your corner or whatever, and I hear you saying some nonsense. I'm gonna pull you to the side and be like, hey, look, man, you can't be saying that. You know what I mean? Now, based off the conversation we have, like, because we known each other for years, you know what I'm saying? I will be able to tell, okay, he's off, you know what I mean? Like something's not right, you know what I mean? Because based off our past, conversations up until the point where, I would have that conversation with you, you would be able to tell a difference. So it may just be that he don't have, a lot of people in his corner like that who can just sit him down and say, look, man, hey, you way off to the left right now. You need to go see somebody. What's really going on in your life? You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. I feel you.
But again, that doesn't excuse the things that he says, right? Because it's still hurtful. A lot of it is not true. And it's just impulsive. Right? It's impulsive. So I don't really agree with a lot of stuff that he says. Well, I'm gonna tell you what kind of opened my eyes about what he said when he said referenced us kind of sticking together, and we should kind of do that more. That's what I kind of align with. But everything else, he really needs some help. He really needs some people to sit him down and say, hey, look. And I really believe that somebody did, because we really haven't heard too much from him right now.
Yeah, but you also hearing people say that his ass is missing. Like people that know him, they talking about it. Yeah, I saw something the other day, man, with somebody. I don't know if it's still his business partner or business manager, something like that to that effect. But he's saying that Kanye's missing. He said he's been trying to get in contact with him. There's been no response back there. He hasn't spoken with him, this and that, yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, I get what you're saying about the whole mental illness thing, but he's got to be willing to want to accept help. He's got to be willing to want to get help. Right?
I agree 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Just because they put medication in front of your face, because they put pills in front of your face, you don't have to take it. right? Okay, no, because it's nobody's gonna hold a gun to his head and say, if you don't take this, you don't take these pills, we're gonna blow your brains out. He doesn't have to take it. There's so many other different ways that you can deal with this. And even if it's just sitting down and having a conversation with somebody, you don't have to be a trained licensed professional. It could be somebody that you truly trust, right? But he's just going around here, he's spewing a whole bunch of hate, man, to be totally honest with you. He's getting up here talking about how much, like he like Nazis and all this and that, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, bro, are you seriously, is that really coming out your mouth? Or have you been cloned?
But it goes back to, is his mind so I guess discombobulated, right? Especially when it comes to religion, that he tries to align the religion with, I guess, the hate with love. What I mean by that is, everybody know that Hitler did terrible things.
Of course.
But in his eyes, he's saying, forgive the man.
Right.
He's saying, forgive the man. And a lot of people say, preach forgiveness. And, in our community, that's what they say. Hey, forgive our oppressors, right? Forgive our oppressors. But some things you just need to kind of have a personal conversation with people about. Some things don't need to be put out there in the atmosphere, because people can take it differently, especially if you're not articulating it correctly.
No, that's very true. I mean, because you can't on one hand praise Hitler and then on the other hand say that slavery was a choice. You can't. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't go there with that, man. So yeah, man. I just, it's. But another thing though, man, is that I just hope that in 2023, man, is that especially not only just for everybody, but particularly for the Black community, man, that we stop letting a lot of these entertainers and athletes, right? Just it's like we're putting them on such a high pedestal, and it's like we're making up every excuse for them when they dead ass wrong. Because we love what they bring to the table. We love their artistry. You know what I'm saying? But we need to just start keeping it all the way 100 with them. And again, we preach in the Black community about holding each other accountable, right? Black folks need to come together. We need to band together. We need to show more unity and solidarity. And that is very true. But that also means that we need to start holding each other goddamn accountable. Because if I'm coming out here spewing something ridiculous, you as my brother, I expect you to, even if you got to walk on a national platform on national television, you see me out here spewing some BS, you need to just come on out there and just shake the shit out of me and shake it, man. Really, you know what? Because I need to have a conversation with my brother right here, because it just ain't making no sense. But too many times in our community, man, it goes back to, like you saying, the whole forgiveness. We're making up excuses of the reason why it's acceptable with their behavior. And we should not. We shouldn't. It's man, because see, when you talk about the others, right? The things that you look at the things that Kyrie said, and when you look at how, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but when you look at the way how the Jewish community stepped up, right? And they stuck together. They band together. It wasn't Kanye is, and I'm sorry, Kyrie is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie is, they wasn't coming like, Kyrie, everything he said is correct. No. They stuck together. And that's the problem in the Black community, man. We don't do that enough.
But what I will say is, we have a big problem, right? Especially with the N-word. With, I guess, anybody saying anything derogatory about us, right? That's for example, that look like us. That's where we don't, hold them accountable enough.
Right.
So they may say something on TV that we know is like, yo, that's foul, man. You know, that's not something you should be, you know, putting out there. We don't say nothing. But as soon as somebody else say something exactly the same, then we going crazy.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So that's an issue. That's an issue for me, right?
Yeah,
it shouldn't matter.
Always good on that, man.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, man. If somebody gonna say something crazy about us as a people, regardless of, you know, skin color, then we should be, you know, equally as upset.
Yep, absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah.
But going off that energy, you know, holding people accountable. Let's talk about Brittney Griner, right?
Oh yes, please. Let's talk about Brittney Griner.
She recently came back to the U.S. I know a lot of people thought she was going to have to serve her full term. It didn't look too well for her, right? It didn't look too good for her. But somehow she was traded for a Russian arms dealer, and a lot of people are saying, you know, that's not right. That's not right. So what are your thoughts on that?
Man, I'm gonna say this, right? I can't, and I know, I hope you don't lose your viewers because of what I'm about to say. But I'm just gonna say this, and I know this probably gonna make some people upset. I can't celebrate Brittney Griner being hailed as a victim, right? Because she's not a victim. Because I've been overseas. You know what I'm saying? I've been stationed overseas. I understand that every place that we go is not America, right? See, when you're overseas, you're American when you step inside of that embassy. That's when the American laws and rules and everything apply to you, when you're inside that embassy. But if you're not in that embassy, you have to live by the rules and go by the laws that the locals and everything over there live by, right? So you're telling me that Brittney Griner was a victim when the same stuff that she was trying to bring back, that hashish oil that she was trying to bring back, and it wasn't no allegedly if she had it, it was in a bag. It was hers. It wasn't no, hey, well, somebody took it and put it in her bag as she was in the car riding to, you know, to the airport. And then when she got there, they was like, yep, it's an FBI setup. No, that was all her stuff. So you telling me that she was done wrong because she was basically smuggling. That's what she was doing. She was smuggling from Russia back to the United States. So if I decided to go out right now, right, and go to, let's just say, go to Colombia and bring back some keys, and I get hemmed up, is Joe Biden going to get me up out of that situation? Right? No, he's not. That it's not going, because I knew that I was wrong from the jump. And then the other thing is, you know, again, everybody stand up and saying that, you know, she was basically held against her will. You damn right she was held against her will, because it was not in her will to be in a Russian prison. She didn't wake up and say, hey, I feel like going to prison today, even though her actions tell you something different. Right? So, and, you know, I believe a lot of more people felt that way too, because did you see the so-called her like home going, or like they did like a celebration for her? And like, I don't know if it was like in a church or some building, but it was, a lot of people didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, she's there and she did what she did, but you keep hearing free BG, free B. Well, wait a second. Why are we not going to sit here and call it once again what it was? Why did you do that? Because think about it. When it was time for her to get the hell up out of Russia and come back, why did they leave to come back so early? Because of that crap that's going on over there between Russia and Ukraine. So you telling me that, like, because, you know, Brittney Griner makes close to like $1 million, if not over $1 million every time she goes to Russia to play ball. That's the main reason why she go over there. Because here stateside, she only makes, I believe, like $250,000, if I'm not mistaken, right? So that's basically like the max level deal that she can get in the WNBA. So she goes over there. So you telling me with all that stuff that's going on, with all that bombing, all that conflict and all this and that, you concerned about hashish oil? Man, I would have left all that crap inside that spot that she was staying at, because all that crap could have been replaced. I would have went right to the airport dressed in my pajamas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Here I am. Get me on the plane. Get me back to the crib. I could get high at the house all day with no problem. So yeah, man, she brought this upon herself. But I also understand why Biden did it. You see what I'm saying? I understand why Biden did it.
We're gonna get into that. But my take on Brittney, I think people were more upset because they think the sentence was excessive, right? But hey, it's not the United States, right?
Right, because if we're gonna get, but let me say this, and I'm sorry to cut you off. That may be true with what you're saying. As a matter of fact, that's not maybe, that is true with what you're saying. But this is what is not going back at you, but this is what I would say to everybody that feels that way, right? They gave Brittney 9 years. What about a lot of black and brown men, right? That started out as teenagers that are still locked up, right? For, you know, a little bitty small amount of marijuana that they gave 30 and 45 years to.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Broken homes, broken communities. That you know, young black kids, young black boys, young black girls will never see their mothers or fathers, or when they see them, they in their 30s and 40s now because of a small amount of marijuana. And they gave Brittney 9 years, and she ain't even served 9. She ain't even served a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, but go ahead, back to your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I think that was a lot of the hiccups. Well, not hiccups. Well, the heartburn, right? About Brittney Griner. The sentence was too excessive. They kind of felt like in the beginning, as you saw it, they kind of felt like she was set up, but you know, as the facts came out, it showed that she actually did do it. But then it became, hey, it was too excessive. But again, it's not the United States. You don't have, the power to say what a country, should or should not do, because you're not living there. And you can't say how they should govern, right? But you're a visitor there. And anywhere you go outside of the United States, you should always be mindful of that. You should be mindful that you are a visitor, and you better, adhere to their laws.
But bro, that applies to the United States as well too. Yeah, it depends. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what state you go to.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
so we should know, right?
Yes.
We should be well versed and well, educated on, how we should, move.
Yeah.
Because it's not, even in the United States, all over the world, people of color have issues, man.
Yes, sir.
Have issues. We know this. We know this. So, I mean, going back to what I think a lot of people were upset about, you can be upset, I do think it was excessive. And then as you go over it or continue to think about it, she gets traded for a Russian arms dealer, right?
Wow.
I think that's a lot of people problem with it as well. Like, it doesn't seem to match up. It doesn't seem to be a equal trade, because you're talking about what was his nickname? You remember what they nicknamed the dude?
I forgot what they nicknamed, but I know he armed like so many different countries, man, because by him, like the arms dealer and all this and that, yada yada yada. Hey man, I mean, like, did they call him like the god of war or the god of death or something?
Death. I know it had death in there. So that mean he was like responsible for a lot of people getting killed.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it just because she's a athlete? Is it the reason why she's over here, or is it
more to it? It's
more to it, right? So let's go ahead and get into that.
It's 3 boxes that would check, right?
Let's go ahead and get into that.
Brittney Griner is a female. She's a black woman, right? And she's a part of the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
Those are the 3 boxes right there. So when you look at it, Biden really didn't have a choice in this matter if he wants to get himself reelected. Because let's just go ahead and call it like we see it, man. The reason why Joe Biden is in office is partly because of black women.
You think so?
That is the reason why Joe Biden is in office. That's also the reason why Joe Biden went crazy. He knew, I have to get myself, when he was looking to see who he was going to pick as his running mate, he didn't have a choice but to find himself a black woman. Even Amy Klobuchar said to him, you better find yourself a black female as your running mate, because if not, you're basically going to commit, you know what I'm saying, political suicide. So Biden ain't crazy. He from the jump, we all should have known that this deal was going to happen, because Biden is looking at 2024, which is right around the corner, to be totally honest with you. Because we go back to the polls again in November of this year.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Biden was like, man, I got to do this. I don't have a choice. Now, do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it. Because what you do for Brittney Griner, you need to start commuting the sentences of a lot of black and brown men, dog. That you need to start just going, yep. Because we can say what we want to say about Trump, and boy, we can say a lot of things about that man, right? But Trump didn't have no problem commuting the sentences of a whole bunch of people. And so now, what you do for Brittney Griner, why are you not doing it for the other ones as well too?
But I don't know if his administration has or has not done it, right? Because
you talking about commute the sentences?
Yeah. I want to feel like they have made some steps towards doing that. But I can't say it for a fact because I don't have the facts in front of me right now. But I want to say that they have, I guess, made steps to doing it. But I don't know, to what extent.
Yeah, well, they have. It have been things out there where they are not. They're talking about dealing away with trying personnel or getting the same type of, extensive punishment for marijuana versus crack and cocaine and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, that's cool. But are you going to go back and still with the brothers that are still in there today from things that they did back in the 80s and early 90s? They still locked up today for pushing weed. Are you going to go ahead and say, okay, they've served enough time, they need to come on and go home?
Yeah. They definitely should do that though. If it has not been, done as of yet, that's definitely something that should be done, going back and looking at those cases where marijuana charges were involved. And that's basically what the only offense that they, had charges for. And they got a ridiculous amount of time for something stupid. They definitely need to relook those cases. But it's definitely not right. Definitely not right.
Yeah.
And Brittney, going back to Brittney Griner, coming home and, being reintegrated into, I guess, society again as an American from, being detained. I'm happy for her. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm happy that she came home. But I don't know, man. It's just kind of a tricky situation, man. You don't want nobody to have to face time in a Russian prison or any prison abroad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because bro, you know what's crazy? And I know this is a totally off topic, but if Brittney Griner would have stayed over there, she was going to be living in much more harsh conditions than what's the name of that couple of them Christie people?
Oh,
that like tax evasion.
Yeah,
they going to a, you know what I'm saying,
federal prison,
minimal security. They basically going to a country club. And you think about that, like, but that's based tax of it. Like they have been stealing money.
Hey, you know what, bro? You know what? That's another conversation we really need to dive into, because when we start looking at, you know, the disparity between, you know, the poor and the rich, you know, sentences or how they get sentenced, just ridiculous, man. Because they'll sentence a drug dealer, you know, with the concept of you kill so many people and you ruin so many family lives, etc., etc., etc. Right? But then these rich kids or these rich cats do the same thing on a much broader scale, where they, you know, destroying families financially, right? Ruining homes financially, so bad to the point where people, you know, actually commit suicide because, you know, they lost their whole life savings. Yeah. Right. And they only getting like 3 years, or like you said, they chilling up in some, you know, some fancy, well, I ain't gonna say fancy. You might as well say fancy, because they chilling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so basically they just, you know, they don't have to face the same type of I guess adversity as someone who's sentenced, who's poor, right? Yeah. Which is crazy, man. Which is crazy. Yeah, makes no sense. But we definitely gonna have to chop that one up for real. Yes, sir. We definitely need to dig deeper into that, man. Yep. But man, what's your thoughts on Tory Lanez? Man, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? From the time this whole thing kicked off, I was like, this dude, he basically, I'm not gonna say he committed career suicide, but it's like, bruh, I saw no possible way that he was gonna get off in this case. I saw no possible. Oh, that's interesting, man. That's interesting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just saw no possible way, because here's the reason why, man. When you look at why this whole situation happened, it was basically three younger people, right? That was entangled, that was caught up in a little love triangle or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then Tory got his eyes set somewhere else. Then a fight and everything break out, right? Then you got alcohol that's involved, and then you got a weapon that's involved. Come on, man. You already know at the end of the day, it was not going to turn out well at all. And then here's the other thing about Tory. Instead of him just sitting his ass down somewhere and staying easy, right? Look at what he did to our favorite boy, the month of August Alsina. You know what I'm saying? Look at what he did to August Alsina, man. And you know, they say he was like the dude in Friday. You know him, that what is that, Friday After Next, where dude jumped up and punched the they say he jumped up and punched your boy. Yeah, man. So I'm just like, dog, and it was like Tory just couldn't get out of his own way. And so, but then, man, the thing about it, man, for his parents to get out there in front of the daggone courtroom and just put on a scene and spectacle, talking about that Jay-Z is at fault. Man, Jay-Z somewhat probably, you know what I'm saying? He said Rockefeller, Jay-Z. Somewhat just circling around the globe. Man, Jay-Z ain't paying attention to this crap. That's what he got this high-priced team of lawyers for. That's crazy, man. But Jay didn't pull the trigger. And then here's another thing, man. Have you heard what's been leaking lately? Right? Yeah. The call that he had with the other female that was in the car, Meg's ex BFF. Tory called her while Meg was still in the hospital, talking about basically an admission of guilt. I don't know what happened.
I was just so drunk. Things got out of control. Trying to apologize.
So I didn't hear about the phone call being leaked.
Yeah, but it got leaked. How did the call get leaked, man? When he called and spoke with her directly.
But was it present? I don't think it was presented in the at the case, was it?
No, it wasn't presented in the case, but the other young lady that was involved, right?
I can't. What is her name? I know who you're talking about though. Kelsey. I think it's Kelsey or something like that.
Yeah. So they played her statement when she admitted and said Tory did this. Then when she got up there on the stands, she basically tried to play like she ain't never say that.
You know what? That's what kind of threw me off. Like the whole process, right? Of the presentation of facts, the witnesses, and all this other stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I thought he was gonna get off because it was so many, it was just room for reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Because one witness go up there talking about, nah, I plead the fifth, I ain't saying nothing.
Yes,
I don't want to incriminate myself. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
If you ain't do nothing, why you don't want to incriminate yourself? It just ain't make sense, right? It was just like a lot of things that started to come out that just didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that he did do it. All I'm saying is, in that courtroom, to me, it just seemed like, hey, maybe you probably need to retry it because something ain't right.
Or maybe he should have asked for a bench trial.
It just
because they gonna get him. They gonna get him, bro.
I don't even know if he got sentenced yet.
No, he gets sentenced in 25 days, January the 27th. They gonna get him.
Yeah, he gonna do some time.
Please understand that they gonna get him.
And then with Meg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going on a show talking about, I ain't sleep with him. What you lying for? I know. I can understand you don't want people in your business. The correct, in my opinion, the correct response should have been something to the effect like, look, that's something personal. I don't want to discuss that.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it.
Then it still leaves you open to,
I
don't know if she did it or not. You know what I mean? She said, hey, that's personal. If we did, we do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But her saying, nope, I didn't do it. That just makes you look like a liar, man.
And you know what? A lot of people looked at that, man. A lot of people was like that, they thought that same thing. They was like, yo, she lying about the fact that, she talking about she didn't sleep with the dude, this and that, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, the truth come out, she did. Then you got some other doctor that came out and said, well, she wasn't shot. That was glass that was in her foot. You know what I'm saying?
There's just so many crazy things. Like, what's really going on, man?
Bro, it was a mess. And once again, man, celebrity just, I can't be touched. You can't do nothing to me. This fake aura invincibility. You know what I'm saying? But now here's Tory. Hey, bro, he, without what I don't even know what's the max he can get.
I want to say it's up there though.
Yeah,
it's like I want to say it's over 20 years.
Man, I'm gonna tell you like this. He better pray to God that they don't give him. Well, it ain't looking good. I'm gonna just say this. I wouldn't be surprised if they do give this man the max. I mean, because honestly, man, when you talk about liquor and a gun being involved, he could have killed this girl, man.
Yeah.
He truly could have. That's not being overly dramatic. He could have killed this girl, man. So so now you already know the judge, whoever the judge is, they got this in the back of their mind. Like, yeah, you could have killed this female. So now we're gonna give you enough time to think about it.
Yeah. Hey, so he based off of the results of the trial, he's guilty, right? So he shot the girl, right? If he shot her, he definitely should be punished appropriately.
But here's the other thing though, man. Like, yo, as a man, dog.
Yeah, that's my thing. But
you gotta pull on the female, bro. I mean, we know you. We know you just a little bit taller than Kevin Hart. We get it. You know what I'm saying? We get it. But do you gotta pull on a man?
Yeah, that's ridiculous, right?
Like, damn.
That's ridiculous, right? You really, like you said, you're gonna pull out on her, like
that. I don't know, man.
I mean, I want to say which one. I think he had one of them had the bodyguard with him. The bodyguard was there.
Yep.
Right.
But remember the bodyguards take all of their cues from who's paying the bill.
Yeah, but wasn't it? I thought it was his bodyguard.
I think it was. Yeah, but still, the bodyguards are not going to intervene unless you're. So if I'm your bodyguard, my instructions all come from you.
Yeah, and that's my point. Like, you couldn't say, "Hey, look, handle this real quick,"
instead of body and shit. Yep, man.
It just ain't make no sense, man. But
again, you can't leave them on the side of the road.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they out here throwing hands and whatnot, you know what? I'll tell you what. Hey, y'all go ahead, because of course it was reported that they started fighting in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey and Kelsey, Chelsea, I think it's Kelsey. Yeah, Kelsey and Meg, they started throwing hands in the car. Right?
It was just, yeah.
Then they said that like Meg started going in on him with his career. They started going back and forth talking about each other's career. Meg was saying that his career ain't took off. He's basically, he ain't hot, this and that, yada yada yada. So I guess that shit, Tory, like, because we all are sensitive about our shit.
You saw that in him what he did to August Alsina,
bruh. Like, and August just, and that's another thing, man. Can we stop putting everything on the ground?
Like, come on, man. Come on.
Stop, man. It's not a badge of honor to show the world that, okay, yeah, dog, if you got jumped, I'm sorry that you got jumped, bro. But it's not a badge of honor for everybody to see your war wounds.
He talking about, he snuck me. He stole on me, man. Like, really?
And August looked like he taller than Tory. So I'm just like, did somebody pick Tory up and then let Tory swing on you while your bodyguards had him surrounded? I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's just crazy.
It's been crazy, man. People been wilding out, dog, since after COVID, bro. It's just been wild, man.
It has. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say real quick, man, and y'all know you and I always talk about protecting our queens and the importance of it.
Yeah.
Tory Lanez should not have done that.
Should not have.
Period. Yep. Especially to a black queen. Yep. And regardless of, how he felt for her at that moment or whatever the case may be,
mm-hmm.
You still can walk away.
Yes, you can.
You can walk away.
Yeah, yes, you can.
And I don't want to ever feel like, what happened to her was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right? Regardless of the facts of how it happened, and
mm-hmm.
It wasn't right. And, I don't agree with it.
Yeah. And for those people out there that are trying to bash Meg, and it's like, because basically what you just said, somebody try to come back at you negative and say, well, you can't call Meg Thee Stallion, she ain't no queen. Look at all this. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
That's her craft. That still doesn't mean that it's okay for somebody to pull a weapon out on her, man. That, like, come on, bro. That's entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what she's doing is got y'all asses out here bouncing up and down in the streets. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Meg is the reason why you hear a lot of women out here talking about this body yada yada type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It's entertainment, but that still doesn't mean that it's okay for anybody to pull on her like that, man. And if the roles was reversed, if she pulled on Tory, her ass need to do the time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. 100% correct.
Yeah.
100% correct. 100% correct.
Yeah.
100% correct. But So let's get into this one, right?
Okay.
So when this first happened, right? You and I talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were passionate about it. And I want the viewers, you know, to kind of understand where we're coming from. Because, you know, we're on separate sides of the fence on this, right?
Okay.
And it's on Deion Sanders, prime
Yes,
time.
sir.
Right?
Coach Prime. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, Prime came out. And I'm gonna say Prime because Prime is his alternate ego, right?
Got you.
He has said that. He
Mhm.
came out and he said, you know, on so many occasions, or I'm just gonna get straight to the point, right? It's not verbatim.
Mhm.
He said, "Hey, I'm doing this for, you know, HBCUs. It's a calling from God, and you know, I want to do this for them, and you know, whatever the case may be, right?" So as it unfolded and he took the job in Colorado, right? What were
Mhm.
your thoughts?
I was very now. Let me say this. Before I answer that question, let me go ahead and let your viewers know what's going on. Right. So I am a big time Auburn football fan. Yes, Auburn is a PWI. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know what the hell Auburn University is, right? Auburn University is in Alabama. It's in Auburn, Alabama, right? Now, I'm going to say this. My daughter is a proud graduate of Clark Atlanta University, an HBCU. My money went to an HBCU to make sure that my daughter's college education was paid for. My wife is a proud graduate twice of Bethune-Cookman University, another HBCU. She has her bachelor's and she has her master's, right? I have my bachelor's because I'm just recently retired, which everybody know that. I have my bachelor's from the University of Arizona, right? But I will be going to go get my master's from an HBCU. So I just want to set the table for that first, right? Now, to answer your question, I was very happy for Deion Sanders. Because to be totally honest with you, I wanted him at Auburn. That's just me being, me being the selfish football fan of me that I am. I wanted him at Auburn, right? But then when, I also knew in the back of my mind, Deion ain't coming to no Auburn because number one, Deion is not going to play the political game of that these so-called Bible-loving, Bible-toting boosters that we have down there at Auburn and other PWIs are going to play. He ain't dealing with it. So when he went to Colorado, man, I was very happy for this man because, yes, he said those things that that you preface with. There's no debate in that. But Deion did what he was supposed to do at his time there at Jackson State, right? When Deion came in, HBCUs before Deion got there, the HBCUs were looking at former NFL coaches or players to come in and coach their squads. They wasn't doing it. It was a pipe dream. Nobody in the HBCUs was going after 5 stars because you know what they said? They spoke defeat already. Man, we can't compete with the other universities. We can't do this. We can't do that, right? So when Deion got down there, yes, he took on that job because but let me say this though. People got to understand something. Jackson State was not the first college team that Deion ever interviewed for. Deion actually interviewed for the Florida State job, and he should have got the Florida State job, but they went with Mike Norvell. And you know what they said about Deion? His interview was it was fantastic. We know he's going to be a great head coach, but he lacks experience. See, that was their way of saying we would, but it's always that. It's always a but. So the HBCUs came calling. And then you got to look at what he did for not only for Jackson State, right? But for other HBCU programs as well, too. When Deion got to Jackson State, their practice field was worse than a high school practice field. They didn't have a good football facility. Deion came in, and in the 3 years that he was there, all that stuff changed because he brought in the people that, not only the people, but he used his influence to bring in for people to donate the dollars to upgrade what those HBCUs need. Because that's why these 5-star athletes ain't going there. These 5 stars ain't going to these HBCUs, man. They going to the PWIs because when they come to a trip, when they go on a recruiting trip, they go inside these $100 and some million football facilities. They looking at the 35 different football in 35 different uniform combinations that they can wear. They're looking at the prime time. They're looking at the what's the word I'm looking for? The exposure. That's what they're looking for. And a lot of these kids, man, when they come to these schools, they not coming to play for the school. They're coming to play for the coach. Because when you look at the University of Alabama, right? If Nick Saban was not there, would Alabama be in the top 3 of recruiting every year? No, they will not. Alabama
though. Really, it would depend on how much they win, how many games they win, really.
Right, but remember,
how many national championships they won.
Right. Remember, though, me being from there, before Alabama hired Nick Saban, Mike Shula was their head coach, who actually played college football at the University of Alabama. He was a quarterback. He's also the son of the late Don Shula, right? Shula wasn't bringing in them 5 stars. But then as soon as Saban got there, you saw all these 5 stars start flocking to Alabama. And trust me, it is not to go leave from the state of California to come play football in Birmingham, Alabama, or Tuscaloosa, Alabama. No, they're going there because they're playing with Saban. And they know, well, if I go play with this man can get me to the league. But back to Prime, yeah, man, I'm very happy for him because this man has done so much, man, in the limited time that he was there. And yes, he deserves this opportunity. He really does. So I'm very happy for him, man.
Okay. So I think, in my opinion, where it kind of splits or kind of gets I guess, muddy, like,
yes, sir,
or dirty, is the fact that you can be happy for someone, right? But you can also see the shiciness of it, right? And here's what I mean.
Yeah, explain on that one, man. Go ahead, go deeper into that.
Here's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Of course, you want to be happy for him, you know, to get a job at Colorado or PWI, right? He deserved it, right? But that's not the heartburn behind it, right? The heartburn behind it is how you went in. Let's start off with the fact that the first thing you said was he went to a PWI interview, right?
He did. Yes, he did. Yep.
I guarantee he didn't come in with the same energy saying, I'm going to change, you know, God sent me here and whatever the case may be. I guarantee he didn't go into that interview saying that stuff.
But I think he did, though. I think he did. I just think that it was the powers that be because, bro, you know how I go. You know how I go.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Right. Personally, right. I don't think he went in with the same energy saying, you know, God sent me here to change your program or, you know, bring more exposure to you. It's a calling. I don't think he went to Florida State preaching that. I think he went in, you know, professionally. I'm not saying that he didn't go in the same way to Jackson State, right?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're going with.
You know, it's a different way he approached that, right?
Yes, sir.
And he got turned down, right? Because, from your words, he didn't have the experience. So what's the quickest way to get experience and exposure, right? Let me uplift someone who has not gotten any exposure, okay? And let me go in and show them, you know, I can turn something into, you know, gold. Right? So he went there with that mindset. Okay, so by him saying what he said was not genuine, in my opinion. Right?
Okay.
Because if you go in with a true calling, you already know it's going to take time. It's going to take changes. It's going to take time for you to change an organization. It's going to take time for you to change your mindset, right? That was never his true intentions. That was the main problem, right? The way he went into it. Now, if he would have went in saying, "Hey, look, I'm proud to be, the head coach. I'm gonna do big things, but I'm not promising that I can change, HBCUs," right? Okay. To me, it's a difference, right? Everybody would have a different mindset of, okay, great job. You did what you could. Now move up and elevate. But now you're saying you went there to do a specific thing, right? And doggone well, it ain't gonna take no 2 years to get it done. See, what happened was, in my opinion, all of this is for his son, and I don't knock him for that, right? All of this is for his son, right? And I definitely don't knock him for it, because who would not want their son to do things at the highest level and achieve things that they couldn't even imagine, right? But he goes to Jackson State, right? First year, I want to say the first year he wasn't looking too good, right?
Yeah, that was a COVID year. That's when they played spring ball.
First year he wasn't looking too good, right?
Yep. They went 8-4.
He had to stay. Second year, that's when he started picking up momentum. Things are looking good for him, but he still ain't win the big chip, right?
Yep. He lost to who they lose to? South Carolina State.
Okay.
Yep. And the what's it called? The Heritage Bowl.
The Heritage Bowl.
Heritage Bowl. Yeah. The Black National Championship game. He lost South Carolina State.
And then again, he lost again this year, right? But he got the job at Colorado.
Winston-Salem State.
What, this year? No, he lost to Central.
No,
he lost to Central.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Which was an outstanding game, right? But
it was a damn good game.
Yeah, but that's the issue for me, right? It's not that he left, it's how he went into it, right? And then how he left out of it, right? He went in saying he's gonna do this, and went out basically saying, now we're not talking after he had the interview with Shannon Sharp and all this other stuff, right? Once he took the job at Colorado, how he handled that, in my opinion, was not good, right? Because if you going in saying I'm gonna do this and then just bouncing and not clearly articulating to the people you told this was a calling, because he told the world.
He did.
Right? If you're not articulating, hey, look, I tried, but there's too many obstacles in my way right now for me to continue on this path. However, some people are going to pick up the torch, and I'm confident that they'll be able to do it. It's a difference, man. It's a difference. The thing is, he started getting backlash, and I don't care what nobody say. He's saying that he don't care what people say. Man, you human. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. We always say that we don't care what somebody got to say, but
especially when he coaching and they dogging him out like that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Come on, man. You human. You know it's going to affect you in some way.
So you gonna feel some burn.
Come on, man. Just I guess for me, right? For me, I did not like how he did that. The way he went in and the way he went out. I think
but let me ask you this though, man. Playing devil advocate, right? What's the difference from what Deion did than somebody that does not look like Deion and they're doing the same thing at these PWIs? Because remember, college football is a business.
Wait, let's put some context to that. What do you mean by that at a PWI?
So what I'm saying is that what Deion did, right? You say you don't like the way how he came in. He said what he said when he came in, and then the way how he exited out, right? But remember, when a lot of these college football coaches get hired, a lot of them come in. I'm not gonna say they didn't say the same thing that Deion said, but a lot of them come in and they're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to change this. We're going to do that. We're going to do all this and that. And then 2-3 years later, they so-called dream job come knocking and they bounce. So what's the difference?
The difference is this, right?
Yeah.
So you have a university who is not going to be affected, financially, right? A community is not going to be affected financially if that one person leaves, right? I want you to think about this, right? Since Deion left Jackson State, right? When he went in, you can say that he probably helped that economy in that area, right?
Yeah, I'll say that.
Right? Because of his name, notoriety, and the things that he's done, right? You can say that he helped that economy. You can say that he brought those recruits in, right?
Okay.
When he left, right, you can also say that he stripped them of it. Now, you can say that he took their best players, right, and took them to Colorado, or the ones who couldn't go to Colorado, you don't know if they went in the transfer portal or not, right? So all the things that have been established there is now being torn down, right? It's being torn down. It's not like Deion is saying, okay, you guys stay here, I'm going to Colorado. No, he said, I'm taking all my stuff with me, and it's Gucci. So that means he's grabbing the best players from Jackson State and say, look, I got opportunity here, I'm going up here. Now, the argument is, okay, is that a bad thing, right? Is it a bad thing that he's bringing, these guys from Jackson State to a PWI where they have more exposure and notoriety? It's the way you look at it, right?
Okay.
So Deion had the opportunity, right, to make history. Now, you made a comment that he's changed, he's made a significant change for all HBCUs. I disagree, right? There's no five stars at Winston-Salem State University, right?
That's not Deion's fault, though.
But
that falls on the head coach.
Listen to what I'm saying. You just said he made an impact for all HBCUs, right? He made an impact for Jackson State University.
But he also made an impact on other schools. So, like, let's take Tennessee State, for example. Who did they hire as their head coach? They hired Eddie George. Here's the thing about Eddie George. Eddie George did not always want to go to a HBCU. Eddie George put his name out there to interview for the Ohio State job, right? Before Urban Meyer left. Because remember, Eddie George, Ohio State alum, right? He wanted to be the head coach at Ohio State. He ended up going to Tennessee State because you know why? Tennessee State looked at Jackson State and said, well, hell, I see what Deion is doing for them. We go that same route. We're going to follow that blueprint. We're going to follow that, you know what I'm saying, that same way with what Jackson State is doing. You look at what Bethune-Cookman just did. They just hired Ed Reed, who should have been a head coach a long time ago, right? One of the great, if not the greatest, probably, I can go ahead and say this, the greatest safety to ever play the game. He should have been a head coach on the NFL level by now, right? Or somebody's head coach on the college level. It should not have taken all this long time before he finally got the notoriety. So that's what you call the Deion effect.
I disagree because it Eddie Robinson, right, Jr.
Okay.
Did he play in the NFL?
He did, if I'm not mistaken. I think he played at Denver.
He played in the NFL. So
yeah,
those are
no, that's what I'm saying. I said, yeah. I was just trying to name the team he played, but yeah,
he's been there's been NFL, personnel who's coached at HBCUs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but we're talking about the impact when you're talking about let's talk about high level management. No matter if the high level management, right, can't get those 5-star recruits. Like what is it really? What significant change is it really going to bring to HBCU? And that's what I'm trying to say, right? But the other point I'm trying to bring home is, right, when you talk about Deion and he came in, right, and you talk about the Black community and how many times we see our leaders in the Black community, from Martin Luther King, or you go even back to let's say Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, all those guys, right? All those guys had a calling, right? To push it to a certain point to where they couldn't push it no more, right? Right?
Yeah, I got you.
So when he came in, he had a chance to make history, right? Was it on his back? He made the choice and said he was going to carry on his back. To me, I didn't say, hey, look, Deion, since you came there, just like Ed Reed, I'm not saying, hey, Ed Reed, you need to carry the HBCUs, because he's not coming in there saying that he's going to do it, right? Deion came in and said, hey, look, I'm going to do it, right? So we know HBCUs, where are most of them located in? From what I know, a lot of them are located in communities that are not really
that don't look good. That
don't look good.
Right? Really, and it's a shame to say it that way, but that's what the truth of the matter is.
And then you look at just changing the mindset of a lot of people in those areas, right? It's all about the mental about changing that mindset. Now he came in, look, don't get me wrong, man. He came in, did a phenomenal job changing things, right? Changing the mentality at Jackson State, right? But him saying that he wanted to be the leader, right, for all HBCUs, saying that, you can come play for us. It speaks to a bigger mission, right? It speaks to a bigger mission, and we know that mission is going to take longer than what he said.
No, that's true. I agree with you on some of that, but also, and this is not like trying to, because a lot of the things that you are saying are factual. I agree with you on that. But here's my other thing though too, man. Like when you look at some of like the conditions of what he stepped into, right? Why wasn't, like, you got to ask yourself, what the hell is going on with the administration?
And that's another point I want to make.
Yeah, because that's a big issue with HBCUs, man.
Right. So expose, and that's what I'm talking about, right? He has the voice. He had the power to expose those things and have the people rally behind, making that change to better that stuff, right? He had the power to say, hey, look, guys, even if it's not the big boosters or whatever, talking about, hey, look, give me millions of dollars. He had the power to say, hey, look, let me explain to you why this is this, and this is the reason why we're not, being effective in recruiting, or, it's because you guys are not donating. It's because, we got to do more things for our community. Because you can speak to, those big names, and we talked about this as well. Why, maybe the black billionaires or the black guys with money didn't do more.
Absolutely.
Right. He can talk to them all day and they can say, nah, I'm not willing to do it.
Yeah.
But he had a voice for, the people.
I feel you.
Right. So he could have actually said, look, let me educate you guys on this.
Yeah. I feel you.
Let's start doing this. We gotta start. Do you really think they would have brushed him off? I guarantee that mindset would have changed, bro.
I don't know, bro. I mean, because the thing about it, man, is that I get what you're saying. He's a big fish, and I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna say it like this. A lot of people say he's a big fish in a small pond. No, he's a big fish in a big pond, right? Because like a lot of those head coaches there in the HBCUs, they are the big fishes. They know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's their programs and whatnot. But when I talk about what the administration should have done better, you want to get these 5-star athletes and whatnot to bring them in there, but they're coming from high schools where their high school facilities are better looking than your college facility.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because now, I mean, it's not now, but more than ever now, college football is basically a business. Because you got everybody coming in, branding themselves with these NIL deals, with all this and that. Ain't nobody trying to waste time, come down there and sit on the bench and be like, well, look, bro, they handed out money like candy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why the hell am I going to come down here to goddamn Jackson State? And yeah, I know y'all talk about doing it for the culture and all this and that, but the culture is for me is to help my mom and them get the fuck out of this situation that we in. I can sign this NIL deal and somebody put $500,000 in my hand right now. I could go get my mother a house.
Cash money.
And I don't lose a day of playing time. I don't lose a year of eligibility. And then once I get that 500 stats, if the coach ain't giving me the time that I need, I'm just gonna transfer and go get another 500 stats.
Yeah.
So I'm stepping in before I even graduate from college. I'm already a millionaire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So,
that's true.
But my thing about us with the HBCUs, man, is that we could all be better when it comes down to HBCUs. Alumni, I'm talking to y'all. We could all be better because it's funny to me. We talk that for the culture shit when it comes down to HBCUs, right? But we know our HBCUs, see, the culture is homecoming. You see what I'm saying? That's when the culture is then. Because see, man, I know you done seen this just like I have, man. Even at my job, man, I be seeing, a whole bunch of our peoples, man, walking around with they Greek letters on, they jackets on. They be doing it all. They got their HBCU pride stickers all over the place. But then when you ask them how much money they donate and everything, get quiet. But then when it's homecoming time, that's when the money's gonna flood in. But see, you got to be more than just doing that shit on the weekend when it's homecoming weekend. Because the HBCUs need that money. But then when that money get up in there, who is controlling the dollars?
And that's one of the things that need to be exposed.
Yeah,
right?
Because you know what I'm saying?
It's like if the dollars are being mismanaged, it need to be known and it need to be fixed.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you, my daughter attend a HBCU, right?
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
And
he's kicking ass, by the way.
There's a couple of things that that raise my eyebrow. It's like, why are the dorm rooms in this condition? Right? I pay way too much money for her to be living like this, right?
Yes.
So it's like a lot of things do need to be exposed and need to be changed. But who's the one to do it, right? Because we can sit here because I know you said stuff, we call people, and at what point do we say, look, we got to get better, administrators in this kind of college thing, because these kids deserve better.
Yes,
these kids deserve better.
Because like kids want to go be around their own where they feel very comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They want to be around. And so when you go to a HBCU, you see your own peoples. You want to feel comfortable. You want to understand the culture. You want to learn more about yourself, your heritage, your history. right? But you don't want to be having to sit around here and goddamn march and protest your freshman year because you got mold on your walls inside your dorms, or you don't have somewhere to stay. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, yo, we putting this money into the university and whatnot, because you think about it like this. When you went on the college trip, when you went down there, before the decision was made, like, hey, this is where I want to go to school at. When y'all went down there and did the little college trip, they rolled out the red carpet for you, did. Because I know when we went to Clark, Atlanta, when we went there for freshman orientation, oh, bro, it was on and popping.
They took you through the good dorm, huh?
Boy, I was like, I wanted to enroll. You know what I'm saying? But then things change just a month and a half later when it's time to show up for move-in day. Now you got people standing outside, they ain't got nowhere to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, hold up. It wasn't like this when I came up here a month and a half ago. Why you got students that are coming out here now that don't have nowhere to sleep? Right? Yeah. How do you explain that?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like, we don't get all up in arms as a community because it's kind of like, it's kind of like, well, you know, that's us, that's HBCUs. But
you're right though. We're too accepting of a lot of things like it's the standard.
You send your child to that motherfucking PWI where you paying $30,000 more. If your child ain't got somewhere to stay, you like, wait a minute. The whole family coming down there. You bringing the pastor, you bringing the church, you bring everybody with you because you want to know, why is my child homeless? And we don't pay for all of this. But then when it's an HBCU, well, man, y'all know how that go.
Yeah. Elevators broke down.
Yes. I'm sorry, man. I'm still. And you know what's crazy, bro? When we go back for graduation day, the elevator still like.
It still ain't work.
I was like, "Are you kidding me, man?"
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, you just see it there, man. So I get what you're saying about Prime, man. I do, but you know, and I know that you're happy that he did this, but I get it. You stayed true to this. Your whole biggest thing was the way how he came in and the way how he walked out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy for this man. I wish him all the best. You know, this and that, yada yada yada. Now I will say this, and then this is one thing that Coach Prime, and I'm sure that he understands this. He's now on a shorter leash.
Yeah.
He is on a shorter leash because you know he's stepping into a program that won one game last year. You know what I'm saying? One game last year. And so they're already expecting him. Okay, we brought you up here. We're giving you everything that you need, right? They want to see immediate results. And, you know, can he do it? Yeah, he can do it. But some of these people got to be a little bit more realistic. If you think that Deion is going to deliver a national championship in year one, we need to close that down right now.
And I don't see it happening.
No, sir. No, sir.
He got to change the culture. He got to do a lot of things. And I just want to put out there. Again. Listen, I'm happy for the man. I hope he does well. Right. I hope he does well. I'm not hating on him or anything. I hope he does well, and I hope he, you know, has continued success. Right. But he is going to be on a short leash, like you said.
Yes.
Because the expectation is when he go in, you know, he's going to win immediately.
Yes, sir.
He's going to win immediately, and he's going to change the culture and all that stuff. But we know, being you know, fans and students of the game, we understand that it's probably going to take, you know, probably at least 2 years before we see any like real change. Now, if he does it, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked because in the conference he has USC or something like that.
Yeah, but see, he does. Yes, he does have USC. But he's also like, it's like he's going up there at the right time because, you know, let me see, man, because he's going to the Pac-12. I could have sworn somebody was leaving I think a couple of teams are leaving the Pac-12 soon. I think. You know what I'm saying? Because like I know Oklahoma and Texas, they Big 12, but they coming to the SEC. But he's going to the Pac-12. So really it's like the only two teams that he need to be kind of worried about out there right now, just based off of namesake, would be, well, I'll say three. The three teams he need to be worried about is Oregon, USC, and Utah. So it's not like he's going to
and that's talking about recruiting too, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's definitely talking about recruiting. Yeah. So now it's like, and Deion can walk into anybody's living room. But you got to understand something though. He knows the layout of like, Central, we're talking about Texas. He definitely know the Southern layout. You know what I'm saying? He can, and I know Atlanta is in the South, but I'm just saying he can walk into any kid's living room in Atlanta and get them because Atlanta's his city. But can you do that same thing out there in California? Can you go up there? Can you go to Utah to go get them? Can you go to Oregon? Can you go to Washington State to go get them?
And that's going to be the thing right there.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be his challenge right there because, like you said, he probably can go to like Texas and all those other places, Atlanta.
Yeah,
but you're not going to be able to go to Alabama too much, Mississippi, all those other places like that. So he's going to have to try and figure this thing out quick.
Yeah.
Like quick.
Yeah. And he's going to have to become the king of the transfer portal.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to have to get him because, again, man, gone are the days of like, you going to make a kid go run and go bench a kid because he ain't doing this and that. Because I take, for example, man, it's a young kid at the University of Tennessee. I think he's like the third string quarterback. He's a freshman. This dude signed an $8 million NIL deal. And he ain't touched the field. An $8 million NIL deal, bro.
Third string. Man.
So now, think about how much that kid Arch Manning gonna get out there in Texas.
What?
Think about how much he gonna just off the last name alone.
Just off his name.
Think about how much he getting out there in Texas, dog. Of course, it ain't been reported yet, but you already know, man, this boy's probably gonna be raking in somewhere to close to about, if not 10, maybe $20 million in NIL deals because of the last name.
Crazy. You're right, though. You're right, though. It's going to be harder to coach the kids well because, hey, you bench me, I'm gone. You say something I don't like, I'm going to transfer portal.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So this is what Prime has got to understand what he's walking into. Again, man, I wish him the best, but boy, he's in a monster now.
Yeah,
he's truly in a monster. You know what I'm saying? Because at least you could say, kind of a little bit with HBCUs. If somebody walk off and say, "Hey, I'm a bounce," the threat of them leaving, I don't think was as big as it would be if somebody say, "Hey, I'm leaving Colorado and I'm transferring to USC."
Yeah, the impact is totally different, right?
Yeah,
the impact is totally different.
It is. But let me push back though on you one thing. Talk about impact. Do you blame Deion for the kids leaving based off of the structure of how college football is now?
Oh no,
Are these kids making a business decision?
Look, so here's my thing, right? So Deion comes in and he's recruiting me, right?
Yeah.
And hey, look, I want you to come to my school. We're gonna make a change. He sell me the pitch or whatever, and it's based off of the culture or whatever, or sticking to playing for your people or whatever the pitch is, right? He leaves, and I know that I'm a 5-star recruit. I'm looking for the best deal, right? Because he just showed me that's what it's really about. You know what I'm saying? He's just showing me, okay, that's what it's really about. Having the best deal and doing what we need to do.
Yeah.
All right. But man, we had an awesome conversation, man, to bring in bring in 2023, yes, bro.
Yeah.
2023, we here.
Ready for it.
And
yes,
look,
sir.
Let me tell you something, man. I know you got 7-7 talk.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about it and when you're going to start doing your thing so we can start to look for you.
Yeah, man. So I know everybody remembers back in season 1 on the very first episode, I told everybody about 7-7 Talk. I have not given up on 7-7 Talk. 7-7 Talk is still alive. It's now officially an LLC, which we're going to talk about throughout the season of 7-7 Talk. We're going to get into things like that. But the first episode is coming very soon. I'm going to say that the first episode will drop from 7-7 Talk before the end of the month of January. It's going to drop, man. And you know, I've said, and just so your fans know, man, I've let fear stop me, the fear of failure. But now it's time to ride, because tomorrow's not promised. So 7-7 Talk's official first episode will be dropping before the month of January is out. You know, I have my Instagram page. It is the number 7 and the letter S, spelling out 7, SEVEN, and Talk, LLC. Again, that is the number 7, then capital S, spell out the rest of the word 7, SEVEN, Talk, LLC. Y'all can follow me on Instagram. The first episode is coming very soon, and I promise y'all this, you're going to feel something. I'm going to make you upset. I'm going to make you laugh. I may make you cry, but you're going to feel something. So I welcome all comments. It just makes me better. And I welcome anybody that wants to come on, because I'm truly here to learn as well.
That's what's up, man. That's
yes,
what's up. Mm-hmm. Hey, but once again, we got the block hot.
Yes, sir.
Blazing.
Yes.
And appreciate you coming on.
Always love, my brother.
Always love. Much love. Yes, much love.
Looking forward to this season too, man. Because if season one was great, I already know you got something up your sleeve for season 2 that you just ain't told nobody